This next speaker is one of the sweetest guys at Westlake. He may look quiet, but I've been so fortunate enough to become closer with him this year, and I know that that's not the case. From forming this connection, I know that you're hilarious, kind, and truly one of the smartest guys I know. Westlake is so fortunate to have such a hardworking, science-researching leader in this building for the last 4 years. I remember sitting with you and some friends at the Thornwood Diner a couple of months ago. I told you that I could never pronounce the S word correctly, so hopefully I get it right today. Please welcome to the podium your salutatorian, CJ Bauco.
Welcome and good afternoon, Westlake administration, teachers, families, and the class of 2019. I'm honored to speak to you on such an important day. First, I'd like to say congratulations to every student in the class. We each worked hard to get to this ceremony, and we all deserve to appreciate this accomplishment. From the time that we entered kindergarten together until today, many of us have seen each other almost every day and have discovered that we each have a different personality and perspective. Even though each of us has a unique set of experiences, we've all made it to the same achievement. I remember the day when we all visited the high school in 8th grade. Most of us had the opportunity to get a glimpse of what we could expect in high school, from the challenges that the classes would pose to find our way around those few hallways. I know that was probably the day I started to think about high school graduation and what I needed to do to make it to this day. When I was asked to prepare this speech, I looked back and thought about how I was able to achieve this recognition. Like many of us, I was focused on getting into a good college and thought a lot about what I wanted to study in the future. Because I wanted to pursue engineering, I wanted to differentiate myself by participating in science research and centered my investigation on earth science. And then, as I was contemplating what sparked my interest in earth science, I realized it was the many trips I took to national parks while I was growing up. And when I recall these trips, a story came to mind that I'd like to share with the class. Growing up, I was fortunate to visit many parks with my family, including Yellowstone, Zion, Yosemite, and Bryce Canyon. If you have visited these places, you would know that these parks are remote and it takes a lot of driving to reach them. I'm sure parents can relate to this, but when we were small, my brother and I would constantly ask on these road trips, when are we going to get there? And of course, we annoyed our parents to the point where they stopped telling us it was another 2 or 3 hours, and eventually they'd just tell us, it's about the journey, not the destination. My parents used to say it so much that it became the standard quote for all of our family vacations, and they began to annoy us with it. They explained that we need to look out the window and enjoy the scenery getting there. Obviously, as kids, my brother and I thought my parents were crazy for giving us this advice, and the reason why we were on these trips was to see the parks. We didn't really care about the mountains, trees, and rocks that we were passing. As I looked back on this quote when I was writing this speech, I started to think about what it really meant, and I realized that it's significant to the Westlake class of 2019. For the past 4 years, and certainly this past year, we've concentrated so much on our destination, which was graduation and what we would do next. We all worked on our grades and studied for tests. We worked to improve SAT and ACT scores. We spent a lot of time thinking about what careers interested us and what further education would be a good fit. We worked hard to improve our talents, but then I thought, that's not really what it was all about. Maybe my parents were right. We shouldn't solely focus on finishing high school, but we should concentrate on the different paths we've had in reaching this moment, because that's what really matters. We should remember all the memorable, fun, and exciting times we've had through high school. From all of those football homecomings, to hanging out with friends on the weekends, or even just having fun while daydreaming in class. We all had a good time. We all made great friends and had teachers that positively impacted us. We supported each other's teams and productions. Some of us even got to enjoy time with each other and learn outside the classroom. Some of us went on trips to Europe with Mr. Oturza. The Blunders were able to travel to Disney, and the baseball team was able to spend spring break in South Carolina. There were many amazing accomplishments, whether it was in academics, or in music, or in sports. And of course, when sports comes up, I have to mention, we were the baseball section champs. Of course, we each had challenges and disappointments along the way as well. Maybe we didn't make a team, or we got a bad test grade. Some of us also learned lessons along the way. Like I learned my parents weren't exactly pleased with me when the cross-country team decided that the vending machine should be considered free when it was left open. But these were part of the lessons that created this journey of high school. We each have different memories that helped us get to this accomplishment, and that's what's special about today. So, while I may not agree with all my parents' advice, I think the one that they gave me on those vacations is pertinent for the class of 2019. I would urge you all to remember, it's about the journey, not the destination. We all have different experiences ahead of us, and while we may fall into focusing on our goals and finally want to get to our destination. And while I agree it's important for us to work hard, I also want each of us to thoroughly enjoy our journeys getting there. As most of us go to college, I'm sure that we'll continue to create countless memories and learn lessons that will impact us forever. I know that each of us will be successful on their way to their next destination and the ones beyond that, and I hope that you will enjoy the road that you take as much as I know I will. A graduation speech wouldn't be complete without acknowledging who has brought me to where I am right now. I would not be the person I am today without my family. I thank my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncle, and even my brother for supporting me and guiding me in the decisions that I've made. You've provided me with values of integrity and perseverance, and much of my journey was created because of you. I'd also not be the successful student I am today without the help of the Westlake staff. While all of my teachers have supported me in different ways, there are a few that I must mention for their extraordinary encouragement. Thank you to Mrs. Matthews, Mr. Smith, Mr. Amon, Mrs. Newell, Mr. Paduano, Mr. Smith, and Mr. McIntyre. You have each influenced me in an amazing way, and I always keep your lessons in mind as I continue through college and my career. I'd like to finish by wishing good luck and best wishes to the entire Westlake class of 2019. Whatever your destination may be, enjoy your journey.